you would have seen, or you may have seen, some of the protests outside. Certainly, I've been here for a day or so, and with our coverage over the last 2 weeks, and also with the research that we've commissioned, the surveys, one thing that's come up in the last 12 months that really wasn't on the radar before is sort of anger and concern in the bush about how our transition to renewables is being rolled out in the bush, and the sense that perhaps the bush is perhaps shouldering the burden more than it should, more than its fair share.
Yeah. Look, the former government in New South Wales declared New England to be one of the renewable energy zones. That's something that my government supports, and we worked closely with the former Perrottet government, as well as we'll work with the Minns government. I think the announcement yesterday is a really positive one. Clearly, there needs by the agency. Clearly, there needs to be much better community engagement and consultation than there has been in the past. It's always better if you bring communities with you. I'll be having a chat after this meeting with one of the groups who wrote to me and asked to have a meeting. Solar panels and wind turbines, of course, can't be imposed on anyone's land. The issue of transmission lines is a different one. It can bring, of course, economic benefit for people. We do need to deal with the transition, and that's something that the former minister acknowledged very clearly as well, and was speaking about when Angus Taylor was the minister. But we need to always try to do our best, whether it's the private sector taking action or governments, to consult with people, because you get better outcomes as well.
I mean, one of the things that came up was you'd have a property on one side where the energy provider is dealt with on fair terms, but the property adjacent feels just as affected by it, but they haven't been able to benefit. So it's a tough one. And you're right, it was the former state coalition government that set this up. But I think people here want to hear that. I mean, you've made the trouble of coming here, that it's something that's going to be on your agenda.
Sure, and one of the things that I've been determined to do is to visit communities right around Australia, regardless of who the local member is. I was in Horsham a few weeks ago, Ulladulla. This afternoon I'm flying from here to Mount Isa for the rodeo with Bob Catter. What could go wrong? It's
You're getting on a bull?
It's 100 years of Mount Isa, and the rodeo there. It's been locked in the diary for a long time. My staff are very nervous about this idea of being with Bob Catter at the rodeo, but we'll see what happens.
That'll be fun.
Could be an interesting front page of your sister paper, the Courier Mail.
It could.
Tomorrow, of me and Bob Catter on a bull or something.
Well, if you get on there, we'll run it too. The Telegraph, I think. It's fantastic. We've got heaps of questions coming in. It's an interactive thing. So again, this is echoing. I've probably almost preempted this one. What is the government doing to positively engage regional communities in the planning and development of power transmission infrastructure? So I think it's clear this is a theme that's just sort of really reared its head.
Yeah, I have no doubt it does. I was speaking with Helen Haynes this week. She was talking about the Albury Wodonga area, and she said one of the things that she has noticed is that she's away in Canberra for a week or two, goes back, and some of the landscape changes.
Yeah.
Now, change is difficult. Change happens in our lives. But we need to make sure that the community is consulted appropriately.